Hey guys, welcome back to Real Talk. I'm with my friend John here from YPN. How you doing, John?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good, good, fantastic. You guys may remember John from our previous episodes. Uh, we talk about the YPN and what they do, how good they are, and stuff like that. So, at any rate, it's good to see another human being during the pandemic. Everybody's getting through this lockup, right?
Yeah, man. I'm here in my bunker, so I'm more or less safe. So I hope you're doing well.
That's good. That's golden to hear these days. Well, today we're talking about the pandemics, right? A lot of people came up to me and asked me, "Hey, so what's happening with, should I buy? Should I sell?" So we're trying to talk about a little bit on the buyers and sellers mentality. What's your take on this, John?
Well, I'm seeing two mentalities primarily express themselves right now on both the buyers and the sellers, and it's that fight, flight, or freeze mentality. So I've got a lot of people I've talked to, both buyers and sellers, who have just frozen. Something new has happened. We haven't had a situation like this basically ever, and they're kind of frightened. So they're just freezing in place. They don't want to do anything. They just want to stay healthy, and that's fine. The other side, though, is we'll call it the fight instinct. We have buyers and sellers who are taking advantage of the market right now.
Oh, how so?
Right now, for example, we have a seller with our company right now who listed their property over in Ontario, California, and they've got, this is just one example, within 7 days, they got 4 offers, and they were able to get into escrow above asking price.
Oh, wow. So people are actually doing swell during the pandemic. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's been my experience. Prices are staying pretty stable right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I read the news on the other day saying that the sales price actually went up a little bit. In contrary to what some people may actually think otherwise.
That makes sense to me. Just based on what I'm seeing.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, that's on the seller side, right? So buyers, I know, as far as I am concerned, a lot of people are kind of speculating, and I kind of mentioned that in our previous shows. People want to get, the biggest bang for the buck. So, and I've been kind of telling people, you really gotta look into, right? Like, whether you are planning to own or this is for investment. Because the sweet spot, like most of my buyers are looking into, is in the mid 400s to mid 600s. Mm-hmm. And then at which point, when things do actually get a little lower, which we think is going to be coming, right? What's going to happen is people are going to come up with all sorts of crazy amount of cash, and then for those who are still pending on getting a loan, your chance of fighting against that is a lot slimmer than you might think.
Well, just from what I'm seeing right now, and just to go along with you, buyers right now, if you're in the market to speculate, this may not be the market for you. Right now, because the Federal Reserve, back in April, they basically said that, hey, we're doing everything we can during the scope of this entire economic fallout of COVID-19. We don't have no plans to raise rates. Now, that's just what they say, but that is the signal they want to send to the market. And since mortgage providers are being more careful, they're not doing this many refinances, they're pushing their purchase product. And then finally, on top of that, rates are going down. Rates shot up higher than they probably should have been. But now purchase rates, interest rates are going down because the market's beginning to stabilize.
That's right.
So for me, all this just results in there's going to be a lot of buyers who realize they have a lot more buying power than before. A lower interest rate gives you tremendous amount of buying power compared to lower prices. So I think you're going to see a lot of people hit the market because they want to take advantage of these rates while they're still here. I'm talking easily below 3 soon.
That's right, and that's the number I've been seeing as well. So we people on top of their games, and the bank is doing everything they can to kind of take advantage of the situation. Well, which comes to our big question. A lot of people are kind of asking, and it goes back to our speculators, right? What is going to happen to the market in the next few months? What is your take on this, John?
Well, it's kind of, if we look at what happened during COVID to kind of extend that out to the next couple of months, during COVID, we saw a reduction in the amount of buyers. Now, normally what that would have meant would be there's less demand, so now prices will reduce. But what we also saw was a reduction in the amount of sellers. It's basically just that the market shrank and prices stayed stable, or as you've seen, they've increased a little bit. So if I extend that out for the next couple of months, as either the local government, like for us in California, opens things up, or as people just start ignoring the stay-at-home orders, I think you're going to see prices begin to go up because there's a lot more people now going after a smaller inventory. So I think I would expect to see for the next few months a steady increase in prices as opposed to a drop.
Right, right. And there are some people saying that, come September, there may be a small recession, and some are actually saying that this could be a recession that's greater than 2009 because the unemployment rate is actually going maybe above 20%. So with that being said, people are just thinking, maybe the price is going to get greatly reduced. What's your thoughts on that, John?
Again, that's a possibility, and a
Right.
lot of the long-term outlook is going to depend very heavily on what happens to the bigger economy, whether people are able to get employed again, and making sure that we don't do permanent damage or long-term damage to our economy. What I'm expecting is, because now the federal government has so much more control over that private bank, the Federal Reserve, I'm actually expecting probably no severe drops in the economy until after the election. And that's, barring any more acts of God, if there's a bump in COVID, like some people are expecting after the summer or anything, if any of the fear mongering turns out to be correct, I mean, that might change everything. But the fact that we can now very easily manipulate interest rates, I think they're going to do everything they can to float this economy through the end of the year.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we're doing everything we can as far as our government is doing, as far as our buddies in the real estate world is doing. So don't panic. I mean, I guess that's the message. We, as YPN, part of the YPN, we try to kind of promote positivity. We try to kind of reduce fear instead of doing otherwise. So we want people to feel safe. Even during the pandemic. This is the new information to the rest of the world as well. But what we can do is trying to, hold your hands, hold our own hands as well, trying to make everybody feel, peaceful and safe, going through your normal transaction, your purchase, all that good stuff. So, well, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to, help you guys out. Well, until next time, we'll see you on Real Talk. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Evan.